This is so embarrassing. Before you judge me, I didn't know that I was on a date with him. So back in 2012, was it 2012? No, it was 2013. Yeah, it was 2013. Okay, so that was like 11 years ago. I had a cleaning business, and I was working for this woman named Marge, and she started dating this guy, Al. Then he asked if I would clean his house, and so I started working for him. Marge and Al dated for at least like a couple years, and eventually Marge broke up with Al. I talked to everybody that I worked for back in the day. Sometimes I would stay and have a cup of coffee or crumb cake or like whatever random thing, and so I would just like hang out with these people. And essentially, one day I'm talking to Al, and he's just telling me about how he is very lonely and he wishes he had somebody to go do things with. Then he went on to tell me that his kids and his grandkids all lived on the same road as him and drove past his house several times a day, and nobody ever stopped there. I felt really bad at the time, and so this is, mind you, 11 years ago. I was 23 at the time, and I was incredibly naive. He basically said, I really wish I just had somebody to go get a fish fry with or an ice cream or whatever, and I was like, I'll go get a fish fry with you, not thinking anything of it because I just felt really bad. This guy reminded me of my grandfather and if his own kids, which I think he had like 3 or 4 sons and then like a ton of grandchildren. Like if his own kids aren't going to stop and see him, I feel really bad. I don't want him to just be sitting at home alone. You know, him and Marge had broken up like 6 months prior or something like that. And so I agreed to go get a fish fry with him. He ends up picking me up, and again, I can't stress enough how different of a person I was at this period of time in my life. I was definitely raised to just throw all caution to the wind and to just give everyone the benefit of the doubt and just live my life in La La Land. He comes and picks me up, he gets out of the car, he opens the door, and to me it was weird, but then I'm thinking to myself, all right, whatever, this dude's probably born in like the 1930s. It's probably just his way of being a gentleman, so I'm like, whatever. So I get in the car, we go to this diner, and we have our fish fry. And then as we go to leave, he asked me if I wanted to go to, I forgot what the place is called, but it's basically a state park, and then there's a little beach area. So he's like, do you want to go walk, you know, the trail over there? So I was like, all right, that's fine. So then we go and walk this trail, and like, you know, it's like the sun setting. And now that I'm sharing this story, like the fact that I didn't realize that we were on a date is mind-blowing to me, especially because I wore a dress to this thing. Like, what the fuck? Anyways, I wasn't taught safety at all growing up. So we go and walk along this beach, and then eventually he's like, do you want to go get an ice cream? And I was like, sure, we can go get an ice cream. Because at this point, I'm like, whatever, Al, like, we're just here to do some stuff so that way you don't feel lonely. So then we go get our ice cream, and then he brings me home and whatever. Now, the following Monday, I go to his house to work for him. So this guy, he was retired, but then he went back to work because he was widowed and he was lonely, and so then he was working and driving school bus at the time. And so he got home from work, and I'm in the kitchen just cleaning the sink as normal, like just wrapping up for the day. And he comes over and places his hand on my lower back, and I immediately just like tense up, and I'm like, in my brain, immediately like, danger, 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 please stop touching me, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me, back away, get away from me. Like every ounce of my body and atom of my being is screaming for this guy to get away from me. And then he has the audacity to say, give me a kiss. And I was like, what? And I just like back away. I'm like, what? And he was like, give me a kiss. I want a kiss. And I was like, I'm not giving you a kiss. And he goes, at least give me one on the cheek. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I'm like, no, I'm not giving you a kiss on the cheek. I'm like literally having to like move, like physically remove this guy from touching me because he has me in like almost like a hip like hug grip, you know what I'm talking about? Like his whole arm is like around my waist, like trying to pull me in, and I'm like having to like force him off of me. So then he like goes to change down the hall, and I just hurry up, wrap up, and just grab my money and take off. Now, after this point in time, I decide that from now on Mondays, I'm going to go at 7 a.m. instead of 8 a.m. so that way I can completely miss running into this guy by a long shot. For the most part, I got to dodge him. There was like 1 or 2 times where maybe it was like a snow day or like an off day or something like that, so he didn't have to drive the school bus, and so essentially he was home and I would have to just deal with the fact that he's there. And so at this point he would ask me, oh, do you want to go get a fish fry again sometime? And I would have to make up that I had plans. And then eventually I ended up making up a person that I was dating, that I wasn't actually dating, in order to get him to stop asking me to go on dates with him. Now, almost an entire year goes by at this point, and essentially a couple weeks after my 24th birthday, I was just about to move to a different area, and so I essentially ended up giving my business, which again, the people-pleasing tendencies of my past have brutally just destroyed my life. So I'm sharing these things so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. But yeah, I essentially gave away a cleaning business that took me 6 years to build, and the woman only lasted like 2 weeks and then ended up just no-showing on everybody. And I had like 14 clients at that point in time, and I boosted all of my rates at the beginning of the year. Anyways, that's besides the point. I had to meet up with this woman and bring her around to all of my houses in order to introduce her to everybody, show her around the house and where all the cleaning supplies are, and just give her the rundown of basically, you know, each area, what I do, all that sort of stuff. We get to Al's house, and on our way there, I'm explaining to this woman to be prepared. I was like, I accidentally, somehow, without realizing it, ended up agreeing to go on a date with this guy. Then he thought that I was now his girlfriend, and he was trying to make moves on me, and I've been dodging him. And so I'm like, I'm sure you're fine, but like, I clearly did something wrong in this whole entire exchange. And so we're laughing about it, and then we get there, and as soon as I walk into the breezeway, he comes running out of the house and comes over and grabs me by the arm, like a parent to a child. It was the weirdest thing. Grabs me by my arm, tries to pull me around so that he could give me my birthday spankings, is what he said. Come here, let me give you your birthday spankings. And I'm like, no, Al, do not touch me. Do not spank me. I'm like going off on this guy, and this woman's over here, and I'm looking at her like, I fucking told you that this is gonna happen. Then she's laughing, and I'm just standing there mortified. I end up leaving, and I never went back to this guy's house ever again, but it was very terrifying. And now there's been a few times that I've actually run into this guy at Walmart, and this morning it happened for the first time in years. I haven't seen this guy in probably like 4 or 5 years. And this morning I was walking out of Walmart, and I happened to look up and make eye contact with him for like a split second and hurry up and just like looked down and was just like, I don't care, pull your phone out, check the receipt, like put your sunglasses, like do whatever to make sure you do not make eye contact with this guy and run. And like I literally like ran past him, almost slipped on ice because the whole parking lot was freezing this morning. And by the time I got to the car, I hurry up and lock the door, and I was in panic mode because this is not the first or last time that I experienced something where I was in a situation where all I felt was danger. And if you're a guy watching this and you've never spoken to another woman that's gone through something that's like a scary situation and you don't understand or like know the gravity of a situation, most women in these situations feel terrified for their life. I just felt like this would be a great example to share with the world, to not repeat the same mistakes that I made from my past, because I was not given the tools or the understanding of how to navigate life as a healthy, mature, responsible adult who is self-reliant, independent, and understands like how to healthily navigate relationships and connections and interactions with people, and how to healthily set boundaries with anybody. And so I've had to learn all this stuff by myself. And so if you are out there and you can resonate with this story, please make sure that you are removing yourself from any of these situations and experiences and doing everything in your power to prevent them from happening again. Yeah, that was a very terrifying experience. The lesson here is don't judge a book by its cover. Just because it's some sweet little old man that reminds you of your grandpa doesn't mean that he isn't a creeper just like any other guy. Not all guys are creepy, but there are definitely some that are spatially unaware of their effect on people, and it's very alarming and gross and disgusting, and we need to do something about this. But the moral of the story is I'm sharing these things so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. And even if you didn't learn anything today, hopefully this was at least entertaining to listen to. Please leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about this video. Honestly, I feel kind of embarrassed to share this, but again, that was 11 years ago and I'm 34 now. I'm not that dumb anymore. But yeah, that's why I share the things I do, so we don't make these crazy mistakes. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you liked about this video and if you would like me to share more stories like this, because I actually have a lot of insane stories about wild stuff like this. So let me know. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.